on today's episode of The Real DJ Show.
Paying attention to what everybody's doing, but always kind of doing my own thing, being a step ahead of the game. As you guys, we were just talking about it before off air, being willing to be in a shark costume when nobody else is.
Something more to it. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, we thought we were doing something correctly. And in the long run, we're like, oh my God, there's an easier way to be doing this.
Go home, get some rest. You've earned it. Nope, that. I'm going to go get Taco Bell and watch movies.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode, Real DJ Show. I'm Rich Cranston.
Hey, I'm John. We're still on the air, so thanks for not firing me. We appreciate it. Keeping us on the air, DJ Mickey.
Mickey Hamilton.
Mickey, the producer's in the box.
Happy May, Mickey. It's great we're in May.
We're recording this on Cinco de Mayo. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to air, but I just had these amazing tacos. I mean, not to get all stereotypical Cinco de Mayo, but they were bomb. So I'm feeling awesome.
Definitely a little sludge right now.
What I'm also feeling awesome about is our one thing. We have an incredible guest. Mickey,
shoot
play
out
me
to
the
the
video
West
for the
Coast.
one thing.
Let's go.
I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip, this wet. Tell her run it up. No sleep, no rest.
All right, there it is. Bring our guest on, Johnny.
Yeah, so we're so excited to have with us DJ Keyless BB out in LA.
Go
hey,
out to the
what's up?
West Coast.
What's up, guys? Happy Cinco de Mayo. And you guys don't know anything about tacos on the
I
East
know.
Coast.
No, I
No
know,
offense,
yeah.
but if there's anything about tacos, we got you guys on
Dude,
lock. We got that.
Can I tell you the truth though? So what's so funny is I'm from California and I spent a lot of time in LA, and I tell people that like you have no idea what Mexican food is. I mean, this is fake. It's like calling Olive Garden Italian food.
Sure.
But I would say that what California has not figured out is real pizza. They don't even know how to eat it there.
I'll give you that. Yeah, no, tacos definitely. Pizza for sure. You guys have pizza probably way better than us for sure. But you can find pizza, whether it's going to get the job. Our pizza is definitely 1 a.m. after a long night kind of pizza.
There's a pizza parlor in LA, downtown LA. What was it, like 580? What was it called? I know we're not supposed to be talking about that right now, but
It's all right.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that. There's a bunch of downtown LA. It depends on where. Yeah.
But, okay, last thing
Speaking
about
of the one
food
thing.
and regional food is, BB, what's so funny here in New York, because I tell these guys, like, hey, in LA, when you stumble out of a bar at 2 a.m., there's dudes selling the most amazing tacos and burritos of all time. Like, you can feed a family-sized burritos from the dude on the street. In New York, it's like... It's pizza and it's
huge
like
pizza
hot
slices.
dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Well,
Anyway.
on this show, on this segment, we always love highlighting brother and sister DJs from around the world.
Yeah.
And this giving them a platform really to talk about and their greatness and what they're doing in the little corner of the earth, right?
So, BB, DJ Keyless, we loved your website. It's super fun. You guys are killing it there. Can you give us a little bit of like the superhero origin story of your business, how you got to do what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started DJing over 10 years ago. I lost count at that point. I stopped counting at 10, but it's been over a decade at this point. And I started off, in the bar and nightclub scene, then gradually decided that A, I wanted to get home earlier, and B, I wanted to make this a full-time career. So in order to do that, I discovered the private event world. Absolutely fell in love with doing weddings and private events, and decided I was going to kind of take it on full force. I also then realized it was actually when I got into the wedding industry, gay weddings were not legal at that point. So I realized there was a missing niche in terms of the need to have somebody who could accommodate those type of weddings, right? Yeah. So that really helped me catapult into the wedding industry specifically. So from there, my business just kind of like took off in the wedding industry. So I'm currently an LGBT expert or specialist, however you want to look at it. But I also do all sorts of wedding. In my opinion, a wedding is a wedding. And so it's total party. You know what I mean? Just as let's rock a wedding, regardless if it's LGBT or the whole, I can't even talk right now, heterosexual, whatever, whoever's getting married, it's all about love and fun. That's definitely my motto. But with that being said, my business structure is very much, LGBT wedding expert. I also do weddings, super fun events, corporate functions, and now virtual events. Actually, we've really kind of taken off with as well.
It's funny, like what the pandemic has, forced us into, but we've learned things that we know are going to carry past that, right? So these virtual things, and look, us starting a podcast, frankly, are things that maybe the pandemic thrust upon us, but are becoming a bigger part of our business for sure. How have the virtual things been for you guys?
Actually, they've been really well. I actually jumped into it right as the pandemic started. I mean, I gave myself like maybe a 3-week mourning period to where I'm like, I don't know what to do if I get everybody a DJ again. You know what I mean? Trying to work a day job, like
It's
looking
tough
up.
to DJ a virtual event.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't know virtual events were a thing actually. So I was like, let me see what I can do here. And I can't remember how I managed. I think based off of networking type deal. So where people needed to have an event and they're like, hey, it might be cool to have a DJ. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me try that. So that was like one of my first in a sponsorship kind of like, they're not paying me. So a lot less stress kind of thing.
Yep.
So I ended up doing that. And then I did it. I thought I did an amazing job, but then it turned out it was a lot harder than I did. It turned out I actually sounded, for lack of it, I sounded like crap for everybody on the other end, but nobody knew better at the time. So they were rocking and think this is the best we're going to do with Zoom.
Yeah.
So I actually got together with my DJ mentor. A shout out to DJ Shorty. She's the world-renowned scratch artist. If you're familiar with her,
sure.
She's amazing. She's actually my DJ mentor. She's amazing. So I got with her. She teaches DJ lessons virtually and actually has been way prior to the pandemic. So I got down with her. I'm like, how do you do it? Her sound's always amazing. So she sat down with me. We got to the nitty-gritty of the sound. Got my sound really clear, audio, surround sound, audio quality, my microphone on point. And so from there, I'm like, hey, I can actually do that. And then they just kind of slowly started trickling in. So, it started from people being like, hey, I'm doing this baby shower, I'm doing this birthday party, I'm doing this. But then corporate people started reaching in and, hey, we now have to do these corporate functions and, virtual conventions and everything like that. And I actually just today got an inquiry for my first duplicate virtual convention that they did their first virtual convention last year. They're doing it again.
There you go. That's awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah, so it's been pretty well. So I'm blessed to have that.
That's fantastic, and cheers for you for having a mentor.
That's smart.
Yeah,
for sure.
There are people that
it's a tough pill to
have a hard time with that. That to recognize when there's somebody that could help get you further or learn something from.
But I mean, look what it does. Obviously, she helped you out tremendously, and look at the product you're putting out to your clients and helping them out.
We're bringing BB back when we go back to the mentor topic because that's a big deal for us. We're big believers in that. All right, so BB, DJ Quiles and Associates, what is the one thing? What is the secret sauce of your business that has made you successful?
So I would say the secret sauce to my business is truly owning myself and my brand, and paying attention to what everybody's doing, but always kind of doing my own thing, being a step ahead of the game. As you guys, we were just talking about it before off air, being willing to be in a shark costume when nobody else is, and that's also a thing about me is I really am willing to do whatever it takes to have a good time. So, some DJs are sometimes too cool to do certain things, like the YMCA or this and that. Whereas for me, I get it. Is it maybe not the coolest thing? Would I have it at my wedding? Probably not. Yeah. But then again, if somebody played it at my wedding accidentally, I would make the best of it and I would do it. That's just the kind of person I am.
Sure.
So I'm very much like that with DJing. So I'm like, hey, if the client wants it, I'm right there with you. Let's hit it. But you never know what you're going to get with the client. That's also what I was able to find is when you're true to your brand and exactly what you want and you're actually, talented and constantly perfecting your crafts and making notes in terms of what you're doing right and wrong and taking constructive criticism and feedback from people and, and also not beating yourself up and being able to realize, hey, I might actually be good at this and having the confidence to kind of build your business and, bringing on other DJs and anybody who doesn't know, that's a whole different world and a different, level of headaches that you didn't realize. But, it's just been, an amazing journey that, I wouldn't change for the world right now, but it definitely wasn't easy for sure.
Well, I love that. I also applaud you for reinventing yourself and, honing your skills and developing a niche market within the mobile DJ world, right? I mean, that's fantastic.
We're excited.
Congratulations.
We think your business is incredible. We were super excited. When people started reaching out to us about these one things, we dug into your website and your socials. We're like, oh my gosh, we can't wait for that one. It's really good. Speaking of socials and stuff, where can they find you? What do you want to plug?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you can find me actually across all social media at DJ Quiles. It's spelled Keelez. And once again, DJ Quiles. It's tough to pronounce, but just go with it. It's phonetic. You can say it.
We got it.
But yeah, so at DJ Quiles on everything. Instagram, Twitter. I don't really tweet, but Instagram, YouTube, all the good stuff. DJQuiles.com. You can find me.
Awesome.
You're killing it out there. I wish I was in LA with you and we'd have better tacos than I had today. But thanks again. DJ Quiles, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Have a great season.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, so that was the one thing with the DJ Quiles. She was awesome.
And your guest got a facelift because she's a lot more fun to look at than
This
Rich
is way
Cranston.
cool. So if you hadn't already noticed, Rich moved over there, and our favorite guest, Kristen, is over
This
here.
is post-taco Cranston goes on the
Cinco de Mayo
couch.
Cranston.
It is.
Oh,
So if
someone
you-
doesn't have a lot. Yeah, I just got a carb overload, and I am snoozy.
Was it the tacos or the Coronas?
Both.
No, I had way more tacos than Coronas. It
Tequila?
was just like...
Yeah, anyway, so if you haven't already caught on, we were filming this on Cinco de Mayo, and the way we got our guest here is we did promise there would be tacos and Coronas. I want to introduce our guest, and tequila. She's our favorite guest. I think it's her third time on one of our shows. This is Kristen from Weddings in New York. What's up, Kristen?
Oh, hey.
She's our oldest friend in the industry, and she's brilliant at this stuff. So she makes an
She's a
amazing
future Hall of
guest.
Famer for sure.
I try.
Yeah.
And
Future Hall of
she
Fame.
knows about everything. And she'll
does.
fucking tell you.
And yeah, she'll tell you about it.
All right. So we're going through our topics. We thought one that would be really fun to cover was talking about the benefit of attending industry conferences and conventions, right? Because they're starting again. Right?
Yay!
Thank God.
Hallelujah.
Coming up soon, for us in our side of the industry, the DJ Times, DJ Expo in Atlantic City is coming up. The Marquee Show. I think Wedding MBA is happening.
November, Wedding MBA.
Yeah, November's happening.
They did say it's going on.
Yeah, so I thought that since most of these had a year off, it'd be fun to talk about maybe for those that have never attended one of these things before. What's the benefit or what can you expect from these things? I think
Amazingness.
yeah, well, let's start there. So, I mean, for both you guys, and just jump in here as an attendee. We'll get to presenting in a minute because we've done both those things. But as an attendee to these shows, like Wedding MBA or for us, the DJ ones. Like, what's the benefits? Like, what have you? Has been a benefit to you?
From my end of things, it's going to be completely different from yours because I'm on the opposite end. I'm there to network too. So my biggest thing when I go to these is to network with wedding professionals, not only with our local wedding professionals, but people all over the country. You learn different trends. You get to see how other people are doing things. On top of that, building relationships. The relationships I have built at these events have turned into, they're family now. I have people from a DJ company actually in New Jersey who are great friends of mine now.
That's awesome.
Take that back, Long Island. Because I met them at my first Wedding MBA in Arizona 12, 13 years ago. I don't even know how long ago.
Sure.
But we still bounce ideas off of each other. Another thing is when you are going to these events, you're not just getting the information, you're also meeting all these people in your own network that you necessarily wouldn't see out and about on the street. It's just a great way to let loose, have fun, and learn. The information that you take in there, you can bring back, and if you don't put it in your own business, you can share with a friend that it's useful for. I've found programming, I've found different ideas of how we can make things better for our company on the back end and also at our bridal shows.
Rich, what do you think about that?
It's absolutely right. I mean, and the benefits come out of what you put into the convention, right? So if you're going to gamble, if you're going to stay out late and sleep in, you're not going to get anything out of it. And you're going to be, it's a waste of time, a waste of money. You're traveling out of your space. You're having some fun. And when I'm at a convention, I immerse myself in everything. I dress up. I network, I bring my cards, I'm ready to go. I'm exhausted by the end of the day because I'm thinking so damn much. Meeting people, networking, I agree with you wholeheartedly. There's people I've met years ago at a convention I still talk to on social media now, and I'm okay to share ideas with people more because, quite frankly, I'm not going to share ideas with people in my local market, but I'd be more freely to talk or give advice for people outside my market.
Two things I'm going to say is that really, just to back up what Rich said, the biggest transformations that our company has had is come after we found somebody at one of these conventions that was giving out advice that we just locked into. But you have to be open to that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be humble enough to say that somebody else is talking. I mean, because I think it's easy to go to those conventions and say, I know this, or I knew that already, or whatever. But to be open-minded enough to say, look, I've invested in being here. I'm going to take this to heart, and then we've made big change after hearing good advice.
You may know something, but you don't know it all. There's something more to it. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, we thought we were doing something correctly. And in the long run, we're like, oh, my God, there's an easier way to be doing this.
Seriously. Right? I've been in this business over 20 years, and with everything going on with technology right now, I mean, it changes by the minute.
Well, we even bounce ideas off each other.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine that, and you're in a larger span of people that are all over. One thing, don't get me wrong, I love the East Coast, but West Coast, for some reason, gets everything first.
Yeah.
It's true.
And there's one comment that you made that I want to piggyback off. Much of the success of a couple of segments on this podcast, like The One Thing, is coming from a convention, because we reached out to the people that we did our seminar to, and we emailed them, and they're coming on to the One Thing segment.
The only other thing I want to add, too, I think is the forgotten part about this is it's not just the networking you're doing with people that you don't know. I think one of the biggest successes we've had of attending, like, for example, Wedding MBA, is when we hook up with the people from our market that are also going, and then doing some memorable, like, team building and, I mean, not quite networking, but, you know, just camaraderie.
I call it networking.
Yeah, but camaraderie with the people from our market that all went to this place. It's almost like going on vacation and, like, this. We're having this great shared experience together.
Right.
You build those bonds. Like, the people that we went and hung out with at Wedding MBA are now some of our closest friends in the industry here.
Well,
you know,
on top of that, you divide and conquer. Rich, when we were there, we all split up and went. There's no way you can make it to every seminar. So what we all did at the end is we all went to different seminars, and some of us went to the same. We took notes, and at the end, we all shared them. And it didn't just end when we were at the seminar. We came home, and we were like, all right, let's all bounce ideas. Here's all our information. And it worked, because you can't be everywhere at once.
And we just talked earlier during a lunch break about that one CRM company that I talked about. And I mean, so it's definitely, you know, you're building memories. And if you can afford to bring your squad to these of conventions and events, talk about team building.
It's an investment, though. And that's the way you have to look at it. Yes, it's expensive. They do cost money. It's travel. It's all that. But you're getting not just the education out of it, too. You're getting the team building within your company as well. You're putting that effort all into that. We come back and we just burst. We come into team meetings, we go into just planning phases, we put everything in. The biggest thing that I have to say, though, is after the event, you have to keep that steam going all year long.
Yes,
and
agreed.
That's where your networking with other people brings it back up, and you get back into it.
You're
let's
pumped
bring that
full
idea
of
back
that
up. Let's do
adrenaline,
that.
and you want to tackle your business again.
They should be, all these conventions I just mentioned should be sending us a goddamn check right now.
Well, and I will have to say,
the best commercial ever.
Shannon, I don't go to the DJ ones, but Shannon at WNBA has been doing a great job. I've been going for years, and I do for any of the wedding professionals out there. I know it seems like a lot of money, but it's really not in the grand scheme of things. Look what you pay for just the webinar nowadays. On top of that, Vegas hotels and flight are not bad.
They're cheap.
And the experience you get there, plus, like Rich said, you have to go to the seminars every day because you want to get that information, but you still want to go out at night.
Yeah.
I don't think they lie when they say in the Air Vegas has that oxygen pump. And
So
you go for 3 days
You
straight.
can sleep on the flight home.
We pulled it off.
Yeah.
And we're older. Anyway, all right. So I think something you said a minute ago, that you can't be everywhere at these conventions. I think that's something to consider when we talk about what are the pitfalls or some of the dangers or the drawbacks of some of these conventions. I know that, look, we come back and we debrief about these conventions we've been to, these conferences. Look, there's pros and cons. So for you guys, what are some of the cons that you can let people know, or maybe things to avoid or ways to avoid pitfalls?
I mean, my biggest thing is you can't be everywhere at once. And you really have to pick and choose. And by the time you figure out that the convention or seminar that you're in is not for you, it's 15 minutes into it. Now you're going to walk somewhere else, and it might be full. And so that's a huge drawback. Another drawback for me that I encountered more when I was presenting was most of the topics are picked by the promoter. So the promoter will shoe fit the speaker into what they want to advertise based on history, based on analytics.
What people are asking for, the topics people want to talk about. Yeah.
So if you get a presenter who, wants to talk about their secret sauce or something they want to talk about, it's kind of frowned upon. It's got to go through an approval process from the promoter, which a lot of times is shot down.
We're going to talk about presenting too, so hold on to that.
I'm going to bounce right off of that, though, because one of my biggest cons is that sometimes they're sales pitches. You can kind of tell when you walk in if it's going to be a sales pitch or not. Some presenters are amazing. They're going to give you all that information. You're actually bringing useful tools home. But then some are there selling a product and they're only giving you the bare minimum. I'm not paying all this money to get the bare minimum and then have to pay you more money to get more. I want your experience. I want the lessons learned. And I also like hands-on. People that show hands-on, this is how I do it. There was one Pinterest, I forget her name. I wish I could remember. She was amazing. I follow her. I still love her stuff. But she talked about how she uses Pinterest for sales, and she showed us how she uses it.
I remember
and
that.
A lot of people have that hands-on. You can see it. And then I went home and we did it. And like that's the thing. The ones, and I remember her information, and I follow her because she gave me useful information.
I think this is in preparation, right? I think that you can't just the day of the convention go and open the manual or the book and say, I'm gonna go to that one. That one looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the key to getting the most out of it is prep work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Planning your day
before
you leave for the trip, right?
We always
That's
have that
what we
night
do.
at my house where we used to go through. All right, so-and-so, you're going here, you're going there. This one looks good.
And that's for you guys. You guys have more people going. When we go, I'm the only one that goes because once again, we're a smaller company that doesn't have. We're not going to send all our staff because we're not gaining a lot. We're there for networking and bringing back the information to our clients to share with everybody here locally. But it works because when I go, I network with all my wedding professional friends from Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse. I make sure to spend time with everybody and to talk about what are you going to? What are you going to?
Yeah.
To make sure I'm going to something different from them so that we can, once again, divide and conquer.
I think that's key. I think for me, the biggest con of these conventions is you do have to sift through some stuff. Like the goal of the promoter of the show is to provide as much content as possible, right? They have to give this big menu of content. And I think even it's hard to arbitrarily say what's good and what's bad, but I would say more fairly that some things apply to you more than others,
Oh, totally.
And you have to figure these things out because there's nothing more demoralizing to me. I'm at a conference. I know I have 3 days. We paid gazillion dollars to be there, and I'm spending my time in a seminar that I think sucks. Mm-hmm. And look, it's going to happen. Look, the best of them. Conferences we walked out of, like, oh my God, that was a life-changing conference for us. There's still going to be stinkers, or that's not fair. Ones that I thought, like, okay, I didn't need that, or that didn't apply to what we do. Mm-hmm. I think you have to figure out the best way you can to avoid those things, which is really to dig into the content. Will it apply to you? And do your homework.
Yeah,
exactly.
Be prepared.
Right.
One thing that I like about social media marketing expo that they have in San Diego every year, they actually offer a web-based package too. That's a webinar based, where
cool.
you can you get it for a year or two. You go back in and you can go back over everything. We've used it for especially Instagram and thing like that, where we're doing it. We're like, oh, let's go back to that webinar and see how they did it. And that's, you pay more, but you pay for what you get. The way I look at everything is an investment. If I'm going to get more out of it, I will pay more for it.
And Rich, you touched on this a minute ago. I think just briefly, I want to touch on it because it may not apply to everyone, but for those that are maybe listening that are thinking about presenting at one of the things or been offered a chance to present, for you, just real quick, what are some of the benefits or drawbacks of being a presenter at a conference like this? You've done Mobile Bee and an MBA.
Yeah, so drawbacks, I mean, you're not going to satisfy everybody. I like to satisfy people. I get offended when I don't have 100% buy-in, right?
Sure.
But that's just going to be it. Not everyone's going to love you. People are going to walk out. But, when you have another drawback, too, is, picking my own material, right? So there's things that I strongly feel passionate about that I think that, can be well communicated and well received. And you have to go by what the promoter wants you to talk about.
We have a good story about that, right? I mean, full disclosure, I don't think she'd mind we said this because we love Shannon and MBA. We'd love to be there again. But the last time we were presenters at MBA, she gave us the topic, and very slowly through the process of developing the topic, we basically turned it into what we wanted to talk about. So much so, by the time we went to our final submission, she's like, this is no longer what I asked you guys to present about.
Not you guys. You didn't do such a thing.
Yeah, we did. But we defended it well. I think we had a strong argument about what the topic was. And she's like, fine, but I can no longer call it this. We got to call it something else.
Yeah.
But we got really good feedback.
We got high ratings. I mean, we were in the mid 80s. I mean, we passed all levels to come back. You know what I mean? So
I think the presentation was good. But I think, like you said, I mean, the biggest drawback is,
I'm so sad I missed it.
It was awesome. It was a really good seminar.
But it was
awesome.
I think Dax was worth it, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Must have babies.
But that was a drawback. I mean, one of the big things, obviously, is, you're presenting in a huge city like Vegas in front of 300 plus people.
That we
And
still
what,
connect
and
with.
what day were you presenting on too?
Oh, it was a main day. I was not. It was not in some.
Well, so you've
like,
already, but
small
you've already
room.
been there too. You're enjoying Vegas. You go to these seminars, and you still have to get yourself ready and present. But you were prepared. And
We went to bed
focused.
early
Yeah,
that
yeah.
night
What
before.
day? It was like on a Wednesday or Thursday.
The seminars started Tuesday. We were Wednesday.
It was the last day because I remember we went out to dinner that night with
Yeah.
with everybody. It was the last day.
But we were good. We had fun in
It
Vegas.
was like 1
we still went to bed
o'clock,
early.
too.
The
It
night
wasn't
before.
like 9 a.m. and everyone's all.
What time is early in Vegas?
Yeah.
No, we
1
went to
o'clock's
bed
good.
early. Like we were.
No, it was good.
We
yeah,
worked on our
didn't go out the night
presentation,
before.
and then I'm not saying that because my wife might be watching. We went home.
Yeah, no.
bed.
Seriously, we were. But I mean, you asked a question about benefits. I mean, huge benefits. You're talking to a room of your peers in Vegas. I brought my own photographer. I brought my own videographer, and I just had them shut the hell out of it. I mean,
And you use that when you
content.
get home too. You use that. You look like a bigger and better company. Not only just presenting, but going. You can say, "I'm spending this money. You're investing in me as a company."
Yes.
And I'm further educating myself. If you look at a hairdresser, you're not going to go and spend $65 at a hairdresser that doesn't do any education, that's been a hairdresser for 60 years,
Right.
She's $25.
Yeah.
But I will spend good money at a hairdresser that I know that goes to conventions, gets training. This is training. This isn't just a conference. You're going to school. You're going to
True
learn.
story.
You're going to learn, and you're also going to find new things that work for your company. Not just ideas, products. The expo part of it is also huge.
Oh my gosh.
So many people bypass
Time
that
saved.
area. It's ridiculous.
I mean, all the things that you want to establish as a business, so you can search day in and day. Oh, should I buy it? I don't know. Let me read these reviews. You're there. You're talking to them. You're
With
hands
the manufacturer,
on.
yeah.
My gosh,
you're
a huge
meeting
time
them face
saver.
to face.
I mean, for $1,000, you can go to Vegas for one of these conventions for like a G, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if your return on the investment is tremendous. If you take away two little small decisions you've gotten from that convention and turn that $1,000 into, I mean, it's
Dude, I'd
it's
pay
crazy.
$1,000 just for the friendship we built with Ben Stowe. Ben Stowe, if you're watching, best resource in DJ world.
Absolutely. NFL.
Well, that's the thing. The
NLFX.
people you meet sometimes are more worth the money than anything else.
Totally true.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're throwing convention, send us money. We just a good commercial for you. Feel free to show this on your webpage.
I will be tagging Shannon.
Tag them.
Mickey, we got to tag Shannon.
Tag 'em
because
all.
she's not returning my emails.
So that is our core topic. Again, reach out to us if you have further thoughts about that. But we're going to get into, and this is going to be strange, maybe she should be the one I'm debating.
Oh,
and
if that's the case, I'm going to grab
I love
another
debate.
beer.
All right,
I
here we
love
go.
debate.
I did see a transformation in you from when you get in front of a microphone to just from over there when we were eating tacos.
All right, so we're going to do a segment of
it.
BPM. It's going to
You're
be a
born
very
to be on
special
camera.
segment of BPM because I'll be debating Kristen instead of Rich, and Rich is the
Bring
panel.
it.
All
Remember,
right.
I know everything.
So, Mickey, play me that BPM video.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bag.
Buckle up. This is BPM, Beats Per Minute, our game show of competitive DJ and magazine
Marketing
person
extraordinaire.
debate, where Mickey is going to spin the wheel of death. He's going to pull out a topic. Kristen and I both get 1 minute to debate that topic. The panel, who is Rich, is going to tell us who's right. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off. Kristen's got a Corona. Rich has got a Corona. I'm going straight edge. I'm probably still going to lose. Mickey, spin that wheel of death.
First question, here we go. Rank in order of importance who you should please. Your staff, your vendor partners, or your clients.
Oh, man.
Wow.
This
Go,
is a hard
sucker.
one. All right, so staff, vendor partners, and clients.
Yep.
Okay, so first, number one, clients, vendor partners. I have to go vendor partners, clients, staff.
Oh, okay.
And this is really hard. The staff will understand. They're your staff, but you can't. It's your business. If your name is on it, you're the one that is going to be promoting your business. Vendor partners, you actually taught me this. They're the ones that are with you forever. Your clients, you always have to please too, because they're your client. They're going to leave you reviews.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, but I still
Hard question.
and you changed my mind on this. Vendor partners are they're always there. They're like your best friend that when you get in a fight will still be your best friend in 2 years. Your clients, they might come back, they might not. You want to keep them happy. Your staff, I would say, would typically be number one, but your staff, it's your name. They need to work at the way that you train them to work. So if you train your staff, that's hard though.
I get it's tough. I was probably over a minute.
There's so
but
many
you're a rookie.
variables to that question.
There is.
So let's come in close, you guys. Everybody come in close. They're all important,
Yes.
right? So when we say what I'm about to say, I'm not saying that the other people are not important, but this is a question. It's a game show, so here we go. All right, in order of importance, number one is your staff. And for me, in the industry that we're in, it is almost impossible to replicate DJs. They're the hardest thing to hire. It's a very unique skill set, so we have got to make them happy. So the first thing when Rich and I wake up and go to work and go home from work that we're thinking about is how do we retain our staff, which means we've got to keep them happy. So that has to happen or we have no business. Then, sorry, clients, I love you, our client family, but like 1A and 1B is then your vendor partners.
It's a hard
The
question.
people that run venues are the lifeblood of my business. I need them. I need them like air. And unfortunately, look, our best clients ever, right? The ones that become friends and family that I still talk to today, 10 years after their wedding, and I have those, and I'm proud of those people. But even those people, in the lifetime that I know them, they're going to give me, at the best ones ever, 10 referrals. 11, I mean, that's a lot, right? If I got 10 weddings off of one person, it's amazing. I may get like 30 a month from some of our best vendors, right? From our venue partners. So it's got to go staff and then vendor, venue partners, and then our clients. But they're all important. We love you all.
Can I rebuttal on this real quick?
Go.
We're in different industries too.
It's true.
Just throw it out there.
I get it. Rich.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You both make tremendous points. And it is a tricky question. But if you order it the correct way, everything will fall in line. In our industry, you know, we've got to take care of staff first. And not for nothing, but staff, vendor partners mostly see the front of our window and maybe a couple steps in the shop, right? Clients, they just see front of the window. Employees, they see the front, inside the office, and everything goes around behind the scenes.
Oh, totally.
Right, I mean? So if you treat your staff the way you should treat your staff, it rolls downhill. So your staff will take care of, and I agree with you, you got to go vendors, partners next, only because of a math thing.
Yeah.
But if you treat your staff and your vendor partners the right way, your clients are going to be treated tremendously. Now, I was talking to a client, I returned a call at 8 o'clock last night. Don't get me wrong that I'm like not treating clients well because we're treating them tremendously.
But the difference is we would drive to a venue partner's house if they needed something.
Yeah, true.
You help me move this refrigerator? Yep. Be right there.
Sure.
Might be creepy if you do that for some clients. It won't be.
Maybe. All right.
So, yeah.
Very good. Mickey, spin that wheel. What do we got?
Well, you can definitely tell that Rich wrote this one. Top 3 tips to treat your body healthier on long event days.
You're going to win. I have no idea how to do that.
God, what?
I'll go
Event
first.
days?
3 tips about how to treat your body on event days. I didn't write this one.
Can we just get a different
'Cause-
question? This one's not even fun.
Yeah.
Workout, water, and rest.
No, hold on. I know who wrote it.
Rich, this is a rich question.
God, sure is.
This is, yeah.
All right, let's humor him.
Well,
You could use a bridal show day.
Okay.
Use a
How do you
bridal
treat
show
your body
day.
on a
Oh,
bridal
perfect.
day?
Yeah.
So we hydrate because you want to hydrate for anything. Just think of like COVID vaccine day. You're getting
Sure.
your COVID shot. What are you going to do? You hydrate. Before the show, you relax. You don't overdo it because you know you're going to go in and you work hard. And the other biggest thing is take some personal time because when you are at an event, you don't have personal time. It's all about everybody else. Take, a few minutes to yourself.
Yeah. Good
So
stuff.
I'm going to go ahead and concede this question because I don't do anything healthy for myself on the day of an event. I'm doing things for you. So here's how I'm going to answer that question to its opposite. What you should be saying to take care of yourself is, hey, you know what? Before the event, be prepared in advance so you can relax and enjoy your family before you go. I don't do that. I obsess for you. I am going over your details. I am going nuts thinking only about you. You should probably say things like, look, like you said, stay home and enjoy your day before you go. Nope. I'm showing up at your event 3 hours early and I'm OCD and I'm hanging out with you. You should probably also say things like, after the wedding is over, go home, get some rest. You've earned it. Nope. That. I'm going to go get Taco Bell and watch movies.
And have a drink. So this is funny because this is also
He's
where
not
this
lying.
could go is what we should do and what we really
Right.
He's
do.
not lying.
So I'm not lying. That is my day for you, and it's exactly
And the
opposite.
dude doesn't eat. All of that being said, he's not taking a fillet out of your account for the venue.
He's waiting for the Taco Bell.
He
all
doesn't
right.
eat.
So like I lose.
That's a funny question though, because we know what we should do, but you know what none of us do.
Nope.
Maybe Rich does, but
Except for Rich. Rich is bringing shredded chicken in a Tupperware in his backpack.
Well, that's the thing. It's just a longevity question, because I see a lot of unhealthy like wedding pros, especially DJs.
What do you? Did you purposely sit on the couch for this one to see how me and John were going to answer?
Are you about to preach to us? You just had tacos, tequila, and Corona all day. All right, we're gonna call that one a wash. It's a good question, but I concede. Kristen wins. All right, what else we got?
I concede too. Rich, you win on that one.
Rich wins.
Yeah.
I
didn't even give my feedback on that one.
Oh,
Put that
go ahead.
back in the tail, Mickey.
All right, please tell us how to be healthy on an event day.
All right, so I love the personal time before you have to go to an event, right? Because you're clearing your mind. But it's very, very difficult not to think about 3 hours from now. You're watching the clock.
Long.
You're watching
Think
the
about
clock.
That's
success.
the same thing. Even like the night
It's
before,
crazy.
your head. I don't sleep before an
Nope.
event.
I'm dreaming about the wedding the next day. Not in a great way. I'm like, have I thought of everything? Did I forget
It's
something in the garage?
anxiety-provoking.
Right.
Yeah. So I always pack a lunch. So just when you pack something and you have some food there, I do.
He does.
You're less apt to go to the fast food or not eat at all or just eat
Or the cake samples
crap.
at a bridal show.
Exactly.
Right.
So I
Mimosas.
pack some just. God, you done, bro?
Sorry.
Some protein bars or like if you can do a meal. I may have brought hard-boiled eggs with me on my
Mickey,
little
please,
patch.
Make sure the camera view is on Kristen and I when he's saying this. We're cracking our ass up.
Have you
like,
ever brought
what
hard-boiled
fairyland
eggs? I think,
is this?
I think
No,
John
dude,
and I win this.
Have you seen me? Every time I've come in here, I have my little pack.
He does. No,
Anyways.
he's not lying. This is how he lives. I'm just saying that I can't.
I will say when I was on a hardcore diet once at a bridal show, I packed my own lunch. I packed water. I did all that. And guess what? I just didn't eat all day because it was easier than having to go
You bring
find
your
my
water.
lunch.
Love hydrating. Absolutely. Don't drink alcohol. You're not eating the sugary sodas and
No.
whatnot.
You don't. No, we don't drink alcohol.
All right,
before
I'm
that.
gonna
while
call-
you're working.
You don't. Oh, while you're
While you're
working.
working.
Okay.
While you're
After
working.
though.
Oh yeah, when we get home.
while
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought you meant the whole day. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
Yeah,
no.
and we just did that one a couple weeks ago for the buffet line.
Yes.
I didn't have any pasta, right? So you have
Right.
you have it's all fattening, right? But your chicken French, delicious. You have one breast. You don't have four. You load up on all the greens. If you have like
Rich is
greens
trying
and
to get
fiber, it's
Encore
gonna fill
in
you up
shape.
more. So
never
stuff
gonna
like
work.
that, and
We tried.
no caffeine.
We
before
love
bed.
you.
Yeah, no caffeine. No caffeine.
No caffeine?
Richard, on a podcast for DJs, looked into a camera with a straight face and said we're not consuming caffeine during the event.
No.
If we didn't have Monster, we'd be dead.
after. I said after.
Oh.
After.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, after.
All right, this was a wacky question. All
Yeah.
right, Vicky, spin the wheel. Rich wins. Chris and I lose. He wasn't even playing.
We throw
He
in
wins.
the towel.
You win.
Which of these marketing decisions are okay at a private event? Table banner or digital graphic, brand shoutouts, pre-recorded DJ name drops, business cards on display on the table, or DJ name wrap on the laptop.
And what, like a private event, like a wedding?
Like a
Yeah.
wedding.
None. You don't need to showcase your name. They're going to refer you if they're great.
Preach it, girl. Keep
I
talking.
just think if you need something small, maybe on your laptop that's not really seen, but this event's not about you. This is about the bride and groom. Now, if they were like, I want you to put your name out in, monogram light, but that's their name. Their name should be out. It's the bride and groom's day. It's not your day. If you are a good enough DJ, they're going to tell everybody.
You're hired. The answer isn't quite none of those things. I mean, I think it's a totally social acceptable thing to have on your table in a non-obtrusive way to have your business cards.
Oh, totally.
Someone grabs your business
If
card and
somebody
display.
asks for it too.
I'm on the fence, and if you've watched me with Setup Wars before, I'm on the fence about a laptop wrap. I think it's okay. I don't like it personally. I wouldn't do it myself. I try to minimize ego when I'm DJing. So for me, I don't like it for myself. When I see it, I don't hate it, although it's somewhere for me between business card and banner. Banner is not acceptable. Business card, okay. Laptop wrap, I don't love it, but I get it, I suppose. So I guess I am, yes, business cards. I'm in the middle of the road on laptop wraps. The rest of that is insanity.
There's actually two more things that I'd like to get your thoughts on. Brand shoutouts. And what about pre-recorded name drops?
Never.
No, nope, never.
Never for me.
That's a whole bunch
If
of
you are
nope.
good enough, they will refer you. You don't need that.
Look, if you're doing a marketing event, like when we're having our open houses, right, where we're trying to get a
Or networking event where
event.
you're coming and doing that. You're promoting your business.
Yes. Sure.
A bridal show. Put your name out there at a private. They're paying you.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But at a private event, it's crazy.
I'm even giving away, like, I have business cards. I'm currently designing a laptop skin only because I think that the market of who attends these private events, business cards were so 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right?
Yes
But
and no.
if it's tasteful,
It's tasteful and also
The laptop
not
skin.
huge and bright. Like if you're gonna keep it where it blends in with everything,
Yeah.
I think but you also have to think about the way. Now you want them to tag you on stuff,
No,
or okay.
No, here's what I'm worried about.
just
Like,
something nice and
aesthetically, I like the ones where it's like the
Cursive.
DJ signature.
Yeah.
I like that. For me, my worry is that, like, if I put I'm proud of our company's logo. I designed it 10 years ago. I'm a fan of it. I think it looks great. I think it's
Gorgeous.
tasteful.
It's
Thank you.
gorgeous.
I appreciate it. But I still am worried that if I had that on a laptop skin and that gets into their wedding picture somehow, the bride's like, ugh, can we have this shot of our first dance without the fucking DJ putting his logo on
Totally.
it?
but you have the Apple symbol.
But here's
But it's expected. I can't remove that. It's not like I
and
somehow
that,
try to
that
sneak
blends
it in.
It's not that crazy. So here's the other way. If you're a great DJ and you are on, you're DJing, you tag the bride and groom on social media that you're there. Guess what? You just actually put your name out there more than anything else. You could put a banner, but you know what? Those people are drinking. They're not going to remember what your banner says. Yes, they may get a bit. I'm sorry. The millennials don't come up and say, hi, can I get your business card?
Right.
No,
That's the
they
thing.
want to
Maybe
know
not.
your Instagram handle and
Yeah.
your
Sure.
Twitter handle. And
Right.
they don't care about that.
I'm not ready to give them business cards yet, but I would say the reason this laptop skin, I'm still on the fence. I am worried that with things I don't know. Like we did a whole episode about things that people aren't telling you. And we learned a lot.
Right. Yeah,
like,
for
oh
sure.
shit, DJs love white gear. People hate
People
white
hate
gear.
it.
People
And
hate
this
it.
is where I come in when we were doing that one thing.
Yeah.
Like DJs like it because it's flashy, it's this and that, but it's not only just DJs though. You can look at it from a different. It's the clientele
Right.
and the wedding professionals.
Yeah.
Right. So
they want you to blend in.
I'm worried that laptop skins are that.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's like, hey, we think it's cool, it's aesthetically pleasing, but I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, man, if this bride gets her pictures back and she's dancing with her dad, or the groom is dancing with his mom, or whoever it is dancing with whoever it is, and it's perfect, except for in the back there is the dude with the company logo on his freaking laptop.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm
You
stuck
can have
there.
you can even have a sub discussion about do you go company logo or do you do the brand of the DJ name?
Yeah, I guess I like that even more, which I guess kind of defeats the point. I mean, like I said, aesthetically, and we took this topic way deeper than I thought we were gonna. But I like aesthetically the look of the DJ's hand signature.
Yes.
I think that's pretty. I mean,
if it's
nice,
if it's an animal doing something with a disc or something, I mean that's no. It's
Because
got to
you
be
see that in the
aesthetically
picture.
pleasing.
It's not a
if
logo.
that's your logo, you should probably
Yeah.
change it to begin with because
There's some
Somebody
people
spinning a
that-
disc.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna
Yeah.
get in trouble with people in our local market.
I'm
All right.
sorry.
All right, Mickey. I think we beat that topic to death. I think great discussion. I still am not sold on it, but yeah, I'm in the middle. All right, one more. Kristen's kicking my ass.
Your question, DJ pricing, all-inclusive or itemized / line-by-line pricing, which is better?
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah. So I'll go from my side, who's not a DJ. I personally, when I was planning my wedding, liked the all-inclusive, but with a few little add-ons. Like if not everybody wants uplighting, not everybody wants a photo
Yes.
booth, but like your DJ package should be all-inclusive. The last thing you want to do is think you're getting it at one price, then you're like, oh my God, it's going to be $3,000 more because I'm going to add on everything. If it's with just the DJ package and there's like the little things like that, that's fine. Or have an all-inclusive package that's going to include uplighting and photo booths too as a different thing. But you can kind of mix and mingle a little bit with that.
Kristen was very close. You were very close to being right. And I feel confident that I'm right when I say my answer, that you were very close.
Mickey, we're going to change this
The
to
real
the
answer
John
is
Roach
somewhere
show.
in the middle. And the things that you use commonly that you really couldn't do an event without, should not be add-ons.
Yep.
Like a DJ should not add on a
Speakers.
wireless microphone.
Yes.
They should not add on, in my mind, look, weddings are longer than 4 hours. Extra hours past 4 hours shouldn't be an add-on. You should get, a package price for your normal timed wedding. Those kind of basic necessities, you need to do this, should not be itemized thing. Well, I've itemized the power cord, right? Or, you wanted a surge protector. What are you, crazy? That costs $100. I think you need to present, and when you're doing sales, simplicity is key, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're giving someone a simple answer, it's easier to choose that. And frankly, when you say, oh, that's just included, it makes you feel more credible. Like, of course, I've thought to bring a wireless microphone. When you say I charge extra for a basic necessity of the event, you sound like you don't know what you're doing. Like, Why would you charge? You need that every event. Why would you charge extra for that? I would say, though, that everything else should be a la carte. There shouldn't be, as we always joke about, a bronze, silver, gold, platinum package, because it never is going to fit everyone right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everything else should be a la carte. Now, certainly, I think we should be able to offer a financial incentive to clients to do multiple things with us. And we do offer all these fun things, but they should be able to choose. So I think that when a client calls us and says, hey, what are your package prices? And I say, well, we don't do that because, look, I don't want to force you into crap you don't need.
Yeah.
I think what's gone, and it should be eliminated from our industry, is someone's like, hey, in one package, the platinum, you're getting uplighting and a photo booth and a blah, 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 and a blah, blah, blah. I just think those are very dated. Who knows if a client actually wants those things? It's tough, for you to be competitive if you have this all-in-one pricing. So I think basic necessities should be included. Not itemized, so you don't look like you're stupid, but everything else should be a la carte.
No, and I agree. I do agree with you there. And the thing from like a bride's point of view, or for somebody that's looking in, if you send them something and there's just a whole bunch of prices,
Oh, it's over.
they're gonna look at it and say, "Goodbye, I'm moving on to the next."
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. You'll baffle them. You'll blow their mind.
Oh, yep.
I think when you do itemized pricing, you give an uneducated consumer the power to remove something.
Yes.
That they totally something that they need
That they need. Because they're fearful of the price. So if you're going to do something and you're going to do a great job at it, just give me the price.
Yeah.
Soup to nuts, A to Z, because that's the issue is you risk of saying, all right, I'm not going to do this wedding because the bride wants the ULX or the BLX mic versus the ULX microphone. Well,
right.
You're going to use this. I mean, we're at, this venue over here. We need this battery powered speaker. No.
Well, and you also know what speakers and what's going to need, because you're going to
Yes.
need something different at an indoor event versus an outdoor event. So honestly, like you said, you know what they need. That should be a one package. This is what you're
Yep.
going to get. And then if you want, we also offer this, but DJs
Yes.
should be your main thing, right?
And the minute that you say, oh, you're at this venue, so I have to add these things that cost more money, you've lost them.
You've
Because
lost. Yeah.
you've
Any
told them.
add-on
But
is
you
like,
need to
goodbye.
explain yourself of how you are an expert at that venue.
Yes,
Because
the minute that you say, oh, well, if you're at that place, this requires extra stuff, I'm going to charge you more.
I'm just going to throw it in. They're like, oh my God, I love you.
Well, you're
Yeah.
eliminating the fact that you're the expert instead of, oh, yeah, we work at this venue all the time. Here's what you're getting. No, it doesn't cost extra.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just included because
Right.
we're an expert at that place.
But when I write quotes out, I will explain and itemize everything that's included in there so they can see what they're getting. But it's one price.
Right.
It's one price.
We're all right.
Yeah.
I was righter.
I pretty much said the same thing, just in different terms.
Yeah, I said it better. I love you, then. All right. Are we good?
Do we have time for one more?
We'll do one more.
These weren't
Well,
even
these are
meant to
good.
be. I feel like we're agreeing on every. We need like a good.
Yeah,
We need like
we
a
good
juicy one where
Pick out a juicy
like,
one, Mick.
Kristen,
Don't even spin.
Like you're gonna expletive Kristen's feedback.
Like me and John are actually going to disagree on something.
I'd have to be a music-related thing, although we agreed on the last music-related one, too.
All right, your last one here. This one should actually cause some difference of opinion. Let's see what happens. Here's your scenario. It's 12:01. The venue manager has told you that it's a hard stop at midnight. Okay? The client and guests are literally screaming for one more song. What do you do?
Wow.
That goes back
That's
to
a
one
good
of the.
one.
That's a good one.
Damn. You want to go first?
I'll let you go first while I'm
All
thinking
right.
here, because I don't know what
hard,
I do.
because this is real, right? I mean, this is a real scenario. The answer is you have to listen to the venue manager, because the same reason we talked about marketing, who's most important, like that client, and I love them, and I hope they have the best day of their life. But if I get 2 referrals out of their lifetime, I win. This venue that I'm working at is my lifeblood. So if they've told me in advance that it is a 12 o'clock hard finish, I have to be done. But you have lost. You've already lost. If you're in this scenario, you already lost. Because if you know that, if you know at the beginning, or hopefully you don't even know before that when you're doing planning meetings with this client, if you know the venue is a hard stop, you have to tell them. Like, hey, I love you. As much as your friends and family are screaming, we have to be done at midnight. So what I would do is you do a false finish at 11:52 where you're like, you play, hey, this is our last song. Oh, cool, it's the last song. And then they scream one more song. You can do it and you have 8 more minutes. You can do 2. So you have to be prepared. But the answer is, if it comes down to it and you're in the situation which you shouldn't be, then you got to listen to the venue.
So I partly agree with you. I think you have a good, I like the way that you said you do 11:50, you start ending at. If you have a DJ assistant with you, at that point, you have the DJ assistant, part of having somebody with you, run off and try if they can and say, hey, listen, we'll keep it. We'll even cut the song down to like 1 minute just to get this to make you both happy. And of course, if it comes down to it, the venue, they're the ones that's going to bring you back. You don't want to be blacklisted, or you don't even want to, you don't ever want to step on their feet because they're going to keep, and yes, the client and all their friends and family are important. At that point, they don't even know what time it is half the time because they're drinking, they're having fun. It is what it is. If you end it in a fun way, so you have to find a way to make up for it though. So like, you're right. Start early, but find a way to make it fun. So that last 30 seconds, even if you cut the song to something that, you know, is going to end it. But if you have that assistant because you hired a DJ that is planning ahead and doing all of that, they can already try and say, hey, listen, we'll cut it at 12:03. I promise, no longer.
My nervousness about that, and I think that there's some good points, but my nervousness if I send my assistant over is like that venue manager's still going to be pissed. Like, are you fucking badgering me with your assistant? I told you midnight. Why are you asking me at 12:01 if we can go longer? No. And guess what? Guess where I'm never getting referred again because I sent my assistant to badger them.
It also depends on who you're dealing with. If you know
I'm
that venue is someone is like your friend, it may work. But the other thing is, your client is important too. Those 50 people out there still dancing are all future clients, and they're also all can leave reviews. So it's kind of finding the middle.
Possible.
And I guess it's on case by case scenario though, because if you know that venue is already upset with everything going on at the wedding, I wouldn't even ask.
Rich, what do you think?
I love both your points. I mean, there's certain venues that we can get away with that, and there's certain venues that they have a noise ordinance, and they have
they
neighbors.
can't
They will never have
They have neighbors
Outdoor
sitting
venues
on their
especially.
porch with a decibel meter,
waiting,
and they're going to call the local sheriff. And now the venue's gonna get fined. So
especially with COVID right now, you have to be done by curfew.
Absolutely. So there's some venues that we can get away with like that, but I mean, man, I think you got to side on the side of the venue because of that math.
Well, the relationship too. The relationship.
Right. But I agree with Kristen when it's like they paid a lot of money. You mean to tell me they can't have like 2.5 more minutes, 2 more minutes? It's like if you're a DJ in your net scenario, you planned poorly.
That's it. Okay? The reality is,
like John said, I love John's answer. They don't know that it's only 11:50.
Exactly right.
And that's one of our secrets, and we do that all the time.
You do it so they don't ask for one more song. You fake end, and then you do an encore song every time.
So what if somebody came up to you and was like, "Oh my God, you never played my Meatloaf song"? Couldn't you just cut it in right then, though?
Maybe. But look,
imagine how many people you would make happy in that audience, and the smile,
who are
the
drunk,
feel
who are never
going to
remember who you are.
Oh, they remember.
But here's
believe
the thing:
me.
is when you do that faux ending, that faux early ending. A lot of times, like I'll start at 11:50 or 10 minutes before the end of the show. Right? I'll do my final ending. And boom! I'm done 2 minutes early. Right?
I would say, look, the reality is, if you're in the situation that this scenario is describing, you failed. You failed.
Yeah.
You did it wrong.
Yep.
If you plan this out right, you'll never get in that situation. If you do a false ending at 11:52 and you play the client's last songs on their list and you say congratulations, and then before anyone can even say anything, you're like, you guys got one more in you? You have one more?
Yep.
So
you excite them.
You're beating them to the punch. They're not screaming one more song. You got one more? Yeah, we do. And then you play your finale song, and then you do like the whole excited, congratulations, amazing.
So here's the
Then
other thing now.
You're gonna ask.
Yeah.
You're good.
The ones that are going to get mad about this, the ones that actually come back afterwards and say, oh my God, you wouldn't play one last song. You already f***ed up earlier in the night. You already pissed them off.
Sure.
They aren't going to leave you a good review or anything. So it's kind of like...
And typically the ones that are left over and they're bothering you for one song, they're blasted.
Yes.
They're blasted off their gourd.
And your client would
So-
never actually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
that was
That's
a
it.
BPM with our guest host.
I
Kristen
love
That
that.
was
Camp
fun.
from over here. I think I'm going to set up camp from over here now.
That's your new chair. All right,
Awesome.
that's
But
it for
it's still
us.
yours.
You're about
Yeah.
to hear a pre-recorded finale to this. Check us out. Subscribe. We love you guys. Peace. All right, that's it for us. Another episode of The Real DJ Show is in the books. We want you along every time, so make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the little bell so you get notifications of all of our new content. We know you're DJs and have a lot to say, so jump in the comment section to join the debate. If you have content suggestions or you want your DJ company featured on The One Thing, email us at TheRealDJShow at rochesterdj.com. Lastly, if you're sick enough that you want to take the audio of this with you wherever you go, you can find the audio everywhere quality podcasts are found. All right, that's it for us. Show's over, bitches.